So be aware of the lunar cycles and some of the planetary shifts and keep ahead of it so that you know. You don't have to keep ahead of it to a point where you're driving yourself nuts, right? But just be aware of it and prepare, because I have to come on here and say, when we have these types of things going on, that at the end of the day, right? Because what I don't want to see happen is my beautiful empaths and my beautiful intuitives and my beautiful psychics and even my beautiful humans, okay? Because we all have these things. My beautiful humans feel disempowered because of Mercury retrograde. That's what I don't want to see happen. That people are absolutely not participating in life, or they're attracting all the bullshit because they're afraid of it. So we have to think of a couple of things right now. A couple of things when the planetary shift happens. Number one is you were born with divine energy. Every single one of you, every single one of us, okay? We have part of that universal intelligence, that source, that God, that creator energy. So by default, by birth, you are extremely powerful. You have abilities. Whether or not you choose to use your abilities or grow your abilities is up to you, okay? But you have them and they are sitting there, and your potential to use them is infinite if you want to. So the planets are, it's just something that happens in our world. It's just a universal pattern, and it's something to be aware of, but you are more powerful than that. You are more freaking powerful than Mercury retrograde or any of the zodiac signs, any of your, I mean, I'll say this for anything, whether it's human design, whether it's your zodiac sign, whether it's Mercury retrograde, whatever the hell it is, you ultimately are more powerful than that. So I don't want to see any of you put yourself in a box. And that's what we do when we get scared shitless of Mercury retrograde. We're just putting ourselves in a box. And we are denying our own power. We're saying to the universe, you don't have this. You don't have my back. You're torturing me. You're leaving me here to like go through hell. And I'm just this powerless thing. And that's not true. And the universe is like, hey, like, you know, like I gave you the gift. I gave you the gift. All you have to do is be aware of it. And in fact, not only aware of it, you can use any planetary shift or any moon cycle to your advantage. It doesn't have to suck. Like it just doesn't. So you could prepare for this. All I say is just prepare. First of all, believe that you are infinitely powerful. First of all, just believe it. Just believe that Mercury retrograde doesn't have to suck. Just believe that you can have an easy peasy lemon squeezy Mercury retrograde if you choose to, because it is, because you say so and declare it. And just take that pressure off of you. So also you can prepare by knowing that some of these things tend to get a little crazy during this time. Because I'm not saying the planetary shifts are bullshit. They are true. These are, you know, scientific things. These happen, but you can be aware of them and you can kind of work with them. You can go with that flow. So if you're communicating with somebody, with anyone, just kind of think before you speak in a way, but just take a pause and really be mindful of the words that you're using. Be sure that you're very clear when you're communicating. Like, talk with grace and clarity. And gee, isn't this good advice for any time? Like, isn't this good wisdom for any time? So take Mercury retrograde. If you feel like you're a hot mess in general, take this all this wisdom and just apply it to everyday life. Who cares if it's retrograde? But let's just say for now, start good habits right now, because you have to. It's retrograde. So start to communicate with grace and clarity. So if you're communicating with your partner and you want to communicate your needs that you need to have met, or desires that you need to have met, or you want to communicate that you love them, you want to, whatever you want to do, you want to talk about your dreams, you want to talk about whatever it is, if you're giving a speech, or if you're giving a live stream like this, or if you're doing readings, if you're one of my beautiful intuitives and psychics and everything, if you're giving readings, just know that you're speaking very clearly and you are delivering messages in a way that your partner, your customer, your client, or whoever it is can receive. So you're absolutely open and you're encouraging questions back. Like, is that that cool? Is that clear? Does that make sense? Like, just, ask for clarity too, just to make sure, because retrograde can be a time when people's communications get totally lost in translation. So either people are bickering a little bit, somebody gets offended, somebody's not sure what you meant, emails and texts get misinterpreted and people get offended by it, or maybe if you're not prepared properly for a speech, you're not going to find yourself speaking as smoothly on your feet. Maybe if you're doing, also it's about, signing contracts, and if you're getting into an agreement with somebody, you want to make sure that all the different points, all the different requirements, everything is spelled out, and that you read contracts carefully. And also if you're writing them, you're totally clear about what's involved. So, and sometimes people say don't get into any agreements during retrograde, like don't sign a lease, don't sign any kind of forms, or anything. I say, hey, again, you can't stop your life for a month because it's retrograde, okay? Like, that just doesn't fly. So I would say you read everything. You just read everything. And if you have questions, you ask for clarity. You ask for clarification. And you just double check with people that you're working with to make sure everyone's on the same page. That's what you do. You just prepare. And if you're signing something or getting into an agreement, you make sure that you get what you want. You read everything, read the fine print, read everything to make sure you're totally protected, or making sure that you're totally getting everything that you want. Technology. Prepare. So just put everything on the cloud, right? Back up your phone. Make sure everything's up to date. Back up your files. Back up your computer. Make sure that you have everything that you need. Make sure your passwords. Maybe you want to change your passwords. Maybe you want to make sure your passwords are strong and they're secure. Like, just anything that you would do. Again, anything you want to do in everyday life, do it now if you want to start a good habit. Like, use this opportunity to really just protect all your technology. Make sure you're saving all your documents, make sure you're doing all those things. And then mechanics, right? Any electronics, just make sure, your computer is up to date with all of its software, all of its updates. Make sure your car has all its repairs that are done. If you purchase tickets to go travel, make sure you double check that everything's booked properly. Make sure that you've got everything packed on the day you leave. Make sure your bags are checked in and everything's fine. Look at the flights ahead, your connections, make sure they're good. Make sure your hotel reservations are rock solid. Like, do all the things. Pack everything nice, everything that you need beforehand. This is not the time. Retrograde's not the time to rush into shit at the last minute, right? So you just want to, this is the time, especially when you're going to forget things and you'll forget the little details. This is like, retrograde's like the devil in the details, period. So you have to just make sure you're dotting your I's and you're crossing your T's about everything, right? And I say self-care. On top of all this, we talk about everything that can go wrong. Well, what can go right? So you can take care of yourself. You can make sure you're nourishing yourself. If the planets are going crazy, you're getting headaches, you're feeling weird, you're feeling dizzy, you're feeling cranky, are your basic needs met? This is one of my favorite questions from my clients who work with me one-on-one and in my programs. Are your basic needs met? When they're like, Jen, I can't connect with spirit. Or Jen, like, I'm so stuck. Or Jen, like, I don't know where I'm getting this mood from. I'm like, have you eaten today? Have you eaten good food for you? Are you hydrated? Have you slept? Did you get good sleep? So do all those things. Like, just do all the things for yourself. And what can go right in retrograde? Everything. Nothing has to go wrong. So declare and say your affirmations. Thank you, universe, for an easy peasy Mercury retrograde, or thank you for having my technology taken care of, and thank you for having all of my communications go smoothly and clearly. So all of this, you can do all the things to prepare. That's it. That's all you have to do. And you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. So see, that's what it is. So that's what Mercury retrograde is about. I have a friend that sold her soul to the devil today, and all I can do is pray. I wonder what does that mean? Like, what do you mean she sold it to who, and how does she know she did? I question those things because I feel like some of those things are, and now that you said that, I can kind of piggyback on that with retrograde. Remember the law of attraction, my friends? The law of attraction says like attracts like. So what you think about, what you talk about comes about, right? Like if you wake up and go, this day sucks, well, what happens? It usually sucks. Like you usually doesn't, it's not like, oh, like I'm going to wake up in the morning and say this day sucks and all of a sudden it's the best day ever. Like, no, usually you absolutely get what you ask for. You get what you expect. So, and I'm like, you know what happens with me, how that manifests for me is my parenting, my kids. When I'm like, oh my God, we're going to go out and my kids are going to be crazy. What happens? What happens? They're crazy every damn time. So I'm like, oh, Jen, yeah, you kind of asked for that, right? You kind of set the expectation. You kind of put the vibes out there. Same thing for retrograde. If you think it's going to suck, if you think, oh my God, if you think I have to hide, if you think, oh, my emotions are going to be all over the place, and they could be. If they are, then I'm going to ask you, are your basic needs met? Are you practicing your self-care? Do you have your spiritual practice every day happening, non-negotiable, or are you putting yourself on the back burner? Because the planets don't have control over you. They really don't. You can absolutely, it's usually something, or it's your own fear of cosmic changes manifesting in your reality. If you're afraid of the changes of the planets, yep, it's going to feel like hell for you. It's going to feel like hell. Thank you, Ben, says I love your necklace. I just got this from my kids for Valentine's Day, and I'm believing this is aquamarine, I think. That's what it looks like to me. It's so cool though. I love it. Wondering if I should wait to do taxes until March 11th. Can't find 2 documents I need. Don't want to put vibes out there. So I would say if you're going to do taxes during retrograde, just make sure you have all the details covered. So if you don't have documents right now and you can't find them, then yeah, maybe make an appointment with your accountant for after, for later on. Give yourself some time to find them. But if you have everything and you know that you've got all the details covered, then do not stop. Like, do not put off your taxes because of retrograde. As long as you have everything in order, right? If we're prepared and we're on top of shit and we're organized in our lives, retrograde's got nothing on you. It's got nothing. Thank you, Abuelita, for my necklace. Thank you. Back burner is huge, says Mary. You know it, girlfriend. You are the self-care queen. It deals with my situation. It's a lot to take on, to talk about on here. Okay, cool. Hold on a second here. You'll have to tell me more about that, Kelly, because I was actually going to do another video on like being possessed and devil stuff. I'm going to do that later. I'm going to make this interesting too. I'm going to make it interesting. Yeah, so just be ready for it. That's all you need to do is just prepare and believe that it's so. Believe that it can be easy. Yeah, house selling, car selling, all those things. Just, Marie says that's why I'm feeling crazy, depressed, pissed off. So again, look at Mercury retrograde will only bring out your shadow. Here's the bottom friggin' line, okay? Here's the bottom fucking line right here. Like, Mercury retrograde will only bring out your shadows. If you're procrastinating, if you're not prepared, if you're not organized, if you're not owning your stuff, if you have shadow work that still hasn't been done, all the things, Mercury retrograde will just bring that out. So if you are freaking out during retrograde and you find that you feel like you don't have control, then I'm going to say, okay, there's some stuff that you need to heal. Has nothing to do with the planets torturing you, has nothing to do with them taking control over you and possessing you. It means you have some healing to do. And so then talk to me. Why do you want to talk to me? Because we're just about to start our second round of my program, Heal Your Shit. It was called Become Fearless as Fuck. I've changed it to Heal Your Shit. And it's 4-week mindset program about going through your shadow work, shining the light on your shadow work and on your spiritual practice and on your self-care practice and going through and finding the things that are holding you back, digging way deep down and finding them and giving you the tools to release it, to acknowledge it, release it, and then rebuild your confidence so that at the end of the 4 weeks, after I'm done with you, you're going to feel so much more empowered. Okay, then Mercury retrograde, you'll be like, that's nothing. You'll be like, Jen, that's nothing. I got this. So as a matter of fact, I just posted a testimonial from one of my students from the last round. Okay, her name is also Jennifer. So scroll down after this and look at her testimonial. And she was the 3rd person who gave me a testimonial like that the program had a huge impact on her and she feels better than ever. So if you want to ask about this program and you want to jump into the next round, okay, let me know. Message me as soon as possible, because I'm going to open the early bird doors very soon. So for early bird pricing and all that fun stuff, but we're going to balance your chakras. I'm going to explain to you about your chakras and why that matters when it comes to being fearless and why it comes to healing yourself. And then we're going to do a rebalancing meditation. I do about 3 guided meditations. They're super awesome. So this is a great program. So if Mercury retrograde is bringing out like digging up all the stuff, you know you got some healing to do. You do. Like if you're letting yourself be afraid of anything to do with planets or anything to do with negative entities or being afraid of being possessed or any of that stuff, like black magic, any of that, if you're afraid of that stuff and you think it's part of your life, you need to, it's only your own fear. It's your own insecurity and fear. That's it. You just need to talk to somebody who can help you understand why you're having that reaction. And that's why I say talk to me about it. Trust me, I will make all the spirituality stuff so freaking simple, so simple. You'll be like, oh, so all the drama and the extra comes from our media and comes from our movies and comes from old stories that have been passed down. You just keep it, trust me. We're going to keep it simple. And then all those things are great and they're fun, right? And they do their job, but it doesn't empower any of us. It keeps us afraid. It keeps us feeling like, oh shit, we're insecure. We have to look outside of us for protection. We have to look outside of us to figure out how we're going to deal with this. And it's not true. You already have everything you need inside of you right now. You just need to pull it out. And that's what my program Heal Your Shit does. It's just getting out of your own way. And believe me, you'll experience freedom like you've never experienced it before. And that's all it is. It's really that simple. Kelly says, I'm ready to close a lot of chapters in my life. I feel there are some unspoken truths that are about to come out, so I've been preparing myself. That sounds super intense. Mary says, holy crap, I didn't know Mercury retrograde was about the shadow coming through. That's my theory. Mary, that's my new theory. I'm declaring this as my theory. This is how I keep spirituality super simple. I am the super simple psychic medium because it all relates to me back to unhealed stuff. And I'm going to keep bringing everybody back there because there's no reason why you can't be empowered. So I'm declaring this right now. Mercury retrograde fear is simply your shadow. Simply stuff that needs to be healed. I'm saying it. You heard it here for the first time. I haven't heard it anywhere else. So I'm gonna call it mine. I'm gonna call it mine. I'm scared to sign anything, period. But see, when we say that I'm scared to sign anything, you're bringing it at you. It's like a negative affirmation. You're saying I'm scared to sign anything as if someone's gonna come to you with a shitty contract. Like it's manifesting crap, like, you know, and I'm not like calling you out or like trying to like criticize you at all. You know me better than you know me. Kelly knows me. But like, all I'm saying is it is like a negative affirmation, like trying to manifest something that's scary, you know, so it's calling it to us. Like I said, if I go out somewhere and I say, oh, my kids are not going to behave, 9 times out of 10, I call it and I make it happen. That changes my energy when I say that. But when I say that, it changes my energy. When you say you're scared to sign something, it shifts your energy. So when your energy shifts, what does that do? It calls in the thing that you're thinking about. It really does. So you just say, turn it around and just say, I am empowered to sign anything that I want to during Mercury retrograde. I know I will look at all the details. I've got this covered. I will look at all the details and make sure that I get what I want. You have surgery on the 20th. I am sending you high vibes and healing and all the good things for your surgery. So good that you're praying and meditating on yourself. Ruth says, hey, Jessica. All right, awesome. I will accept your friend request right now. Done. So I will message you about the class after this. Thank you. Thank you. Ruth says, can this also be time to close chapter? I've been trying to close a big one for 1.5 years, but it's a mess out of my control. Why do you think it's out of your control? Ready to get finished. Close the book. When you say it's done, it's done. So it doesn't matter if it's retrograde or any other time. When you are ready to close the chapter, it's closed. And I want you to feel confident in that. Like when it's It's done. What would your higher self do?